Hello everyone, it's me, Bryson P, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the Travelin' Young channel. We're going to be checking out the first video from them, and this is a very basic look at taxes between Denmark and the USA. And before I go any further, I do want to say I am checking them out for the first time, and it's only fair, only right for me to, give them the credit where credit's due. So if you would, if you like this, please go to their channel real quick and just hit the like button for them for this video. I'll have it tagged in the description so that way you could easily just go over there to them. It's only right that they get credit too. Before I start, thank you so much for checking out this video of mine and for your comments, for your other views, for everything else. Yeah, I didn't think this was going to happen, so it's awesome. I do read all the comments that I'm getting. I'm trying to respond to them as I can. I do work like 45 hours a week, and then I have to work on Saturdays also sometimes, and then I have kids that I take care of. So, I got a little life going on, and so I'm doing the best I can, but I appreciate it so much more than you can even believe. So, thank you. Here we go.
Today we're going to take a simple comparison of taxes in
Denmark
versus taxes in
the United States of America.
Hello and welcome to Traveling Young. Today we wanted to discuss taxes and compare the fundamentals of a typical paycheck in America versus in Denmark.
Yes, she said taxes. I do want to mention what this is and isn't meant to be, though. We are not here to complain about paying taxes. We know every single human on the planet has a position on that. So no, this video isn't meant to debate the merits of paying taxes or if somebody feels their taxes are too high. That's not what we're here for.
What this is meant to do is help explain and compare what an American or a Dane making 100,000 US dollars a year or 50,000 Danish krona a month would pay in taxes.
Yeah, and we recognize that taxes, rules about taxes, deductions, everything is super complicated.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to be giving you guys my perspective as, an American that lives in the state of Kentucky who currently makes around $35,000 a year is what I make. That's before taxes, okay? So I make about $35,000 a year. So here's my perspective, guys.
In order to keep this conversation basic, we aren't going to tackle all of those things in this video, but we may in another video. We also aren't going to get into sales tax or value-added taxes,
right,
which of course affect how you spend the money that you take home from your paycheck each month.
Right.
But take-home pay is exactly what we want to cover here. What does a single person with one child take home each month after the basics are taken away from their check? What are they left with, and how does that compare between the US of A and Denmark?
The US of A, or Denmark. While I adjusted incomes a bit to avoid disclosing too much about us, rest assured these numbers are real, and we know that some people will make a little bit more than this, or some will make less than this, adjusting, of course, the amount of taxes that they pay. This is meant to give the picture with actual numbers.
Yep. And then since this is given a picture with one child, like I said, I have two, but they do not live with me. I do see them every single day. It's a long story. We got it's a wonderful, wonderful co-parenting relationship. So, anyways, the way that it's set up and with the child support that I pay and different things, I probably would equate to about, paying for one child. So. Yeah. So again, this is gonna be my perspective. $32,000. I'm sorry, not 30, but this is $35,000 a year with one child.
Of course, this is the take home that they pay, that they're gonna have taken out of their check. And what we're not gonna talk about here, of course, is the end of the year adjustments that you make. But right, what we do want to do is just go into this and take our illustration and start showing you how we've kind of calculated what this means to you.
Yeah. So let's show you.
All right. So we've got two pieces of paper here. This one is America.
Okay.
This one is Denmark.
Okay.
We're going to cut them in a line, and each strip is going to represent the amount of money a person would make in a month. They will both be the same amount in length.
I'm tracking.
50,000 Danish krona a month, or 8,330 US dollars. Now,
okay. I make about $2,900 a month. That's about what I make. $2,900 a month.
Some lines here to indicate that each notch is going to be 2,500 Danish krona. Now, each of these sections is meant to illustrate that amount, 2,500 krona or 408 US dollars. First, we're going to start with America. An American making $50,000 a month is going to pay 7,736 krona in federal income tax, and then they will pay 2,500 in state tax in Illinois, because in this example, the person is living in Illinois, which we did right before we moved here. And then they will pay 3,900 Danish krona in FICA tax. FICA combines both Social Security and Medicare. These are the taxes that somebody has to pay in America. But there's going to be some changes in a minute, but first, let's go to Denmark. In Denmark, you're going to pay 14,824 Danish krona in A-skat. And then there's 4,000 krona in AM tax. And there's just a wee sliver of 95 krona for ATP. We're not going to label that one because it's so small, but it does exist, so we wanted to mention it. So if we look at the taxes here, this is all of the US tax, and this is the Danish tax, and this is what a person making that amount of money would come home with. So in this case, you can see that the American has a little bit more money, but what's missing here is the American doesn't have health insurance yet,
Correct.
nor are they saving for a college education for their child.
Correct.
If they had to pay health insurance, they're going to pay 2,333 Danish krona in a month. That's exactly what we were paying for Maya and myself when we were living in Illinois. I also decided to save up for Maya's college costs, and I started that immediately after she was born. I was paying 250 US dollars a month, or 1,500 Danish krona. Now you can see once you add health insurance and a college fund, these amounts are starting to look a little bit more equal. What I forgot to add when doing this exercise is that in Denmark, rather than getting a credit or paying less taxes when you have a child, as is the case in the US, the government in Denmark pays you directly into your bank account a certain amount of money. Due to how it is handled, our tax remains the same, but we're adding 400 Danish krona to our income in Denmark to account for this example of having one child. Now when you look, they're even closer than before, since 400 Danish krona or 65 US dollars is added back to the Danish income. They aren't equal yet, but the difference isn't that significant. It's only 550 Danish krona or 86 US dollars more for the American. In America, if I'm paying for my health insurance and I'm saving for my daughter's college and I'm paying all that tax, that's basically the equivalent of what's happening in Denmark, except in Denmark, it's all actually contained just in your tax itself. Those things are included in what you're paying in those taxes. But here's the interesting thing. Let's move this down a bit. In America, health insurance is not going to cover everything.
I was going to say, and it's also not like regulated in the way, we've already talked about that, the coupons for, for prescriptions, how we literally have coupons, right? And just the cost of medications are just outrageous, different things. So I'm sure that's where he's going, but if not, then we're going to be on that train.
There are still deductibles. There are still copays.
Yep.
There are other costs beyond what you pay in your insurance.
Yep.
And if this income is fixed and it won't increase all that often, this is the amount of money that you're taking home. Let's just say that you need all of this to pay for your house, to pay for your car or cars, to pay for your food and a little bit of fun. This is all consumed with those things. Where are you going to get money to pay for the additional unanticipated health needs? Well, the way most people handle that is through debt.
Yep, because whenever I broke my leg, so whenever I was, 15? Yeah, I was around 15, I broke my leg, and it cost my parents, quite a bit of money. I think somewhere around $18,000 wasn't covered after taxes and all that. Not taxes, but after insurance, everything was done. It was like 40-something thousand dollars, really, if not more. I think it was just out. Shit, I don't even know. I think it was a lot more than that. But I think they ended up having to pay about $18,000. So, yeah. Hang on, let's do something real quick. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, I just have a random question for you, and that's kind of going to be an odd one.
Hello.
So, what did it cost whenever I broke my leg?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't remember exactly how much it was. Your dad had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I guess they paid for part of it. But I mean, it was like 20,000-30,000.
Like 20,000-30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his insurance paid for part of it, and then we had to pay monthly payments on the rest.
Yeah, to pay monthly payments on the rest.
Yeah.
How much would, like, do you know how much we ended up having to pay?
Yeah, it was about 20 or 30,000.
We had to pay 20,000-30,000. That was after insurance. That's crazy.
Well, it was probably 20,000-30,000. Your dad's insurance paid for part of it, and we had to pay payments on the rest, which I'm not sure how much his insurance paid.
I always thought that from what he had said, wherever we ended up having to pay like 18,000 of it.
Probably so. So they probably paid 10,000 of it.
Yeah.
But we paid payments on it for a long time.
You paid payments on it for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you do? Just had to get a credit card and pay it off?
No, we just paid it off.
Oh.
Once we made the final payment.
Oh, I got you. Just paid it all through the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you asking about that?
Oh, I'm making a YouTube video about, we're just talking about health insurance.
Oh. Part of it, not all of it.
Yeah. How much did it cost whenever I had, the meat compaction or whatever in my esophagus?
Yeah, that was too, because you was at Vanderbilt. And then they did that, let's see, it seems like, you had that, you went to the emergency room, there was an emergency room bill, and then there was you stayed, I think, 2 days, because it's going to make you go home that one day, but you had a fever for some reason, so they kept you a day. I think just to stay at Vanderbilt Hospital is $500-$600 a day.
$500-$600 a day just to stay at the hospital?
I think it was, if I can remember correctly, because it was in the emergency room. I can't. You might even look it up and see like how much does it cost, a day at the hospitals. It's several $100s a day overnight in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then we had to pay off that in payments. Because, your insurance only covers so much.
Yeah. That's what's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, they only pay a percentage of it, and then you're responsible for the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then, forbid, if you have, like, a pre-existing condition, you might as well forget it.
Yeah, if you had a I mean, yeah, that's just, yeah. And that's sad to say that, but I mean, yeah, and you're my mom, and just clear as day, if you have a pre-existing condition, just forget it.
Yeah. Just forget it.
So, alrighty. Well, I'll leave you alone. That was all. I was just calling to ask you that.
All right, then. Well, have a good night now. So you picking the girls up tomorrow?
I sure will.
All right. Well, we'll be here.
Okie dokie.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So yeah, there you go. I don't know how much that you heard. I hope you heard a good bit of it, but there you go. So anyways, let's get back to this now.
Debt here is illustrated through a question mark. If income can increase and you have more bills due to a healthcare obligation that you didn't realize you need, this is the only way that you can cover that. And the problem with this is if your health situation is bad and it's an ongoing issue, this may have to grow even bigger. The only way you can grow your money if necessary, and if you don't have any savings, is through debt. This is one of the challenges that I see, and it's where my opinion comes in. This is one of the unforeseen things that can happen if your health is not really possible to cover easily through your income, because this is all consumed by the things that you need to survive and potentially a little bit that can make you happy. Debt is the only variable that you can introduce in order to handle the part that you can't cover through the money that you're making. Additionally, this college savings wasn't going to be enough to pay for all of Maya's college. It was only going to make it easier at the point when she went to college.
That's right.
During the
That's
4+
right.
years that Maya would be in college, I might be in a position that I'd have to add even more question marks in order to cover the part of college that my savings wouldn't be able to handle. Now, maybe my income increases and I can pay off some of it, but debt is basically the only variable that I can add in order to increase what I have to pay. And this extra bit is where I think there's a significant challenge in America.
That's right, because I'm sorry that this video is so long, but it's important that we understand just how crazy of a difference this is, right? So what I was trying to say was, all right, based on my 2019 tax return, okay? So in the year of 2019, working as a salesman in the HVAC, heating and air conditioning business, and also pretty much being the assistant manager running a store by myself with 3 other employees. I was responsible for taking, all the bank. I was responsible for all the money in the store. I was responsible for almost $2 million worth of inventory. I was there to lock it up, to open it, to lock it. I handled warranties from the manufacturers. I did it all. I ran that store with the help of 3 other people. That was a delivery driver, a warehouse, order puller, and things like that. So in the year 2019, while doing all that as my job, I made $32,434 according to my tax return. I paid around $4,413 in taxes. So my net take-home pay in my pocket for the year of 2019 was around $28,165. Let's do that, and to break it down into easier math, that means for everything I was doing, the amount of work I was doing, working about 45 hours a week, if not more. And also a lot of times working for free, because there was times where we closed at 4:30 and I wouldn't leave till 5, 6 o'clock because we were so swamped and had so much going on that it was easier for me to close the store and stay to get things ready for the next day. That way, whenever we got there in the morning, it wasn't just absolute chaos. So anyways, before taxes, I was making around $15.59 an hour, and after taxes, that equals down to a whopping, stomping, wonderful $13.54 per hour. So you explain to me how I am supposed to save for a college fund for 2 kids and be able to have, a savings account and everything else whenever I'm bringing home about $13.54 after tax. And I make more than double the national minimum wage.
Because these things are things you just can't easily anticipate, especially healthcare. But those are the things that get handled through the tax that you pay in Denmark. If you took these things out completely, if you didn't save for college, you didn't pay for health insurance, sure, you may be taking home a little bit more money than you would otherwise, but you're still back in the situation where you have to start adding debt to cover the things that you can't pay for out of pocket. And this is where the challenge exists. So in my opinion, the difference isn't necessarily that you're paying for these things, because you're paying no matter what. The difference is how and where you're paying for them. Let's take the income away for now. The difference here is that in Denmark, all of this is going to be paid through your taxes. Where in the US, a portion is going to tax and a portion is going into what would be considered the open market and competition, where you can make decisions. But in the end, college is going to cost a lot of money because it's basically a business and the costs are increasing every single year. And health insurance is something that you may need more of than you think you'll need, but you might also need less. You just don't know. Depends on how long you live or what happens to you. But health insurance really isn't a competitive market. But more importantly, think about it. If you're in a serious injury after a car accident, as an example, will you be swiping left or right on your phone to find a doctor? You're going to take the care that you can get. And what that means is you're going to find out later what impact that has on your health insurance or costs. Health insurance is also something that you need to survive because it affects your ability to earn money. Because you can't earn the money here if you aren't healthy. You can't earn income, and then everything becomes a major problem. Then you might have a whole bunch of question marks in order to cover all kinds of items that you didn't realize you'd need.
Okay, well, that was my reaction to Traveling Young and a very basic look at taxes between Denmark and the USA. Like I said, I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you didn't, that's okay. I'm not offended if you didn't enjoy this and didn't like it. You know, everybody's got their flavor, and I might not be yours. So, you know, I hope you find the one that is yours and you enjoy it, right? But anyways, if you didn't like it, I thank you so much, and like I said, you know, it's amazing the amount of reactions and the comments, and really seeing and reading everybody's different perspective, right? And just how it's I mean, I don't even know what to say, you know, and I keep saying that, but I honestly don't, you know. It's, you understand, I grew up in, man, where I grew up and the things that I learned and the culture that I grew up with, it's just, this is a whole different world. So it's so neat and amazing, and you know, I hope to be able to travel over here one day, one day, and you know, go to Denmark, go to Sweden, go to Finland, go to Norway, go to, you know, all these different places, and just experience it. All right. And I will. So, thank you for watching. It's me, Bryson P. And if you would, go over to this video for them. And like I said, I have a link in my description for them for this video, and give them a like so that way they can get some credit for it too. They deserve it. They're the ones that created it. I just reacted to it. Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever time it is whenever you see this. Goodbye.